right. So we're live right now.
Awesome, yeah.
So this is Painkiller Nearly. There's probably not that many people here right now. It doesn't even say. But here's the scoop. Kyle and I record Painkiller Nearly, which is kind of an hour-long, like, one-on-one thing. It's a casual version of... Oh,
yeah.
Crap. All right. So we're live right now.
Awesome, yeah.
So this is Painkiller Nearly. But there's probably not that many people here right now. It doesn't even say. But here's the scoop. Kyle and I recorded Painkiller Nearly, which is kind of an hour. Sorry. I was getting an echo, and I had two browser tabs open, and I'm like, what the heck is happening? So anyway, Kyle and I record Painkiller Nearly every week. It's available in video form, typically exclusively for our patrons. I don't know what it is. It's like $5 a month or $10 a month.
I believe it's $10.
You think it's 10 for this? Okay.
Yeah.
And
that's the best one to get because you get so many things. $10 is the way to go.
All right. And then we release the audio version for free later on. Anyway, just on a lark, we were like, hey, let's do this one live and see what it goes. So it's about an hour long, and I thought, we'd hang out with you guys and do our thing.
Yeah. You ready to go, Taylor?
Everybody I'm ready.
All right. Taylor has... I don't think he's ever been on one of these. Maybe one. Maybe he's been on one. His demanding schedule means that getting him to do one of these is just about impossible. Perhaps in the future. So what do we want to talk about? Lots of stuff has happened. I think
I usually start with a bad joke. I don't know if you want to start with a bad joke.
I love the bad joke.
Every
time.
So I tell a joke. The only promise is it's every week, and sometimes I don't do that, and that it's bad. So here it is. An engineer dies, and he's sent to hell. He's hot and is miserable. He decides to take action. The air conditioning's been busted for a long time, so he fixes it, and things cool down quickly. The moving walkway motor jammed, so he unjams it. People can get from place to place more easily. The TV was grainy and unclear, so he fixes the connection to the satellite dish. Now they get hundreds of high-definition channels. One day, God decides to look down on hell to see how his grand design is working out, and notices that everyone is happy in hell, enjoying umbrella drinks. The devil asks, what's up? Or he asks the devil, what's up? The devil says, things are great down here since you sent us that engineer. What? God says, an engineer? I didn't send you one of those. That must be a mistake. Send him upstairs immediately. The devil responds, no way. We're keeping the engineer. We like him. God says, if you don't send him immediately, I'll sue. And the devil laughs, where are you going to get a lawyer?
That's funny. That's funny.
Well, then I didn't hit my mark. It's not supposed to be good.
It's actually not that bad. It's a little drawn out for such a weak punchline, but yeah, that's comical. Okay, I like it. It's definitely a bad joke though. So you nailed it on both fronts, I suppose.
All right then.
So what do you want to talk about first? We were discussing before. Game of Thrones was huge. Obviously, the season finale, season 5 was huge because they've pushed so far into the books, much farther than anyone anticipated for this year. At least I
thought they were going to finish books 4 and 5.
I didn't think they would finish 4 and 5 this year. I thought that. I just didn't think they would be to the max. Like with. Do we want to go with that first? Is that our first topic? Game of Thrones.
Okay, then. All right, guys, be advised. There might be spoilers in this conversation. If you're not caught up with the books in the show, then that's the thing.
I see that there's been a bit of a mutiny, if you will, against the show online. I see people on Reddit saying they're done with the show and everything. And to that I say, I know where you're coming from, but you'll be back. You have to, right? You got to hope that maybe they redeem themselves in some way. So I guess that I really loved this episode until it got to the end, and for about 20-30 minutes after the end of the show, after the credits rolled, I just felt like there was a heavy weight in my chest. I felt a little sick, and then I realized that there's no way they're actually going to let Jon Snow be dead, right? That the red woman is totally going to revive this guy next season. That's where we're going from here, right?
I don't know. Fuck. So in the book, and this is only a slight difference, as he dies, he's saying ghost, his dire wolf's name, and a lot of people think that he wargs into his dire wolf. And I'll just close. They say the audio's crackly. I'm closing anything down that might help with that. So he like wargs into his dire wolf, and a lot of people think that he becomes the dire wolf and sort of lives on in that thing's body. There's a handful of people that think Melisandre or the fire people will bring him back to life, although we haven't seen that in the show before. There are people that think...
Yeah, we have seen it. Remember, they brought Thoris or whatever back to life after
You're right.
the Hound killed him.
In the book, they bring a couple people back to life, but in the show, they did bring that guy back. And like 9 times, I think, they brought him back.
Several times.
It's a bunch. I think John's dead. I don't know. I see. You can't tell.
I don't. See, here's the thing. John's not dead. Sansa's not dead. Theon isn't dead.
Sansa's definitely not dead.
And Stannis is not dead, in my opinion. I don't think any of those characters died. Remember, but Sansa and Theon jumped off the fucking castle wall at the end of their segment of the episode. You know, a seemingly like deadly fall, which I think is going to be broken by some snow.
I'm prepared to give out a book spoiler.
Well, then don't. You're bad at that. Stop. No, resist the urge. You're that adult walking by like the line for Santa Claus at the mall. You're like, he's not fucking real, kids. You're wasting your time. Just let it go. But yeah, that's what I think, and I don't think Stannis is dead either. I think he's got more to do, and I don't think Brienne just chopped his head off. The last thing he said to her was like, "Do your duty." So I feel like she's going to think that her duty has something else, maybe related to saving Sansa, which is what she's there for in the beginning. So we'll see. But I like the episode a lot. The whole thing with Cersei walking naked through the city was pretty intense, and but then I realized that definitely wasn't she wasn't naked. I don't know how they pulled that scene off, but like that's not her naked body. I think the actress's name is like Lena Headey or Lena Headley or something like that.
Right.
But, she was in 300 and she has a nude scene in that where you can clearly see
she has
her
an
boobs.
awesome nude scene in that. The nude scene in that is one of my favorite nude scenes. That and the
Woody likes the doggy style in the movie sex
so
scenes.
here's the thing. I talked about this last Painkiller already. It's true. Kyle's right on the money with that. When I see two people having sex in like the backseat of a car or missionary in a bed or something like that, it's like, okay, these two are, you know, a couple that has sex, whatever. But when I see like some girl getting like hit from behind in a sex scene on you know, like 300 for example, it tells me that these people don't just like each other, they lust each other. Their love is deep and strong, and like I don't know, I feel like the storytelling element of tagging it from behind is a strong one. And it tells me more about the couple than they're just married. It tells me that they would fucking do it again right now. That's what I'd gather from that. Maybe I'm alone.
No, definitely so. But anyway, in that scene, you can see her boobs, and they're very small. And whoever the body double was had much bigger boobs. They're definitely not her. They CGI'd her head onto that body, I would say, which is kind of lame. I felt like this was the show that, like, you know, there's lots of gratuitous nudity. That seems like the foundation of the show seems to be like nudity, violence, and like the good guy doesn't always win. In fact, often the good guy loses.
I thought this show kept a whole like a dozen naked chicks on set just for whenever they thought of it. Like, you know what? Yeah. Bring them all in. We're gonna have a room full of naked women that the main actors walk through for kicks. And
I know that a lot of those actresses are actually porn stars, like Tyrion's love interest. What's her name? Remember the prostitute that Tyrion brought into the...
Was it Sasha? Was it? You're asking me for
seasons
names?
Yeah, it's a few seasons ago. Anyway, but that actress is a porn star. Was a porn star. Like they drew specifically.
I actually have my...
You watched the porn?
I may have seen her work, yeah.
Okay, well, fair enough.
It was like, this is the character from Game of Thrones. And I'm like, what? Really? Definitely is. I've seen her work. I'm a fan.
Well, they just don't seem like they're going to do that anymore. I feel like it's... I feel like they're really... Shay, that was the character's name. So yeah, lots less nudity. I feel like using a body double's cheap. I feel like that's cheating. And... I don't know. Overall, the episode was good. Khaleesi's left in another pickle. We'll see how that goes. I'm not really too afraid for her for whatever reason. I'll be shocked if anything bad at all happens to her. She'll probably end up leading that huge Khalasar, and adding them to her.
She always lands
her
on
other
top,
armies.
right?
Yeah, right.
You know, she gets sold by her like father figure, and suddenly she's the queen of the land. You know, her husband dies, and suddenly she went from one army to three. Like, Tyrion, I think in the show put it really well when he said, like, you started this with no armies, no dragons, and no, I forget what the other thing, wealth, and you've managed to acquire all three. It's like, that's a good thing. So
yeah, I'm just not afraid for her. I think Jon is totally getting resurrected. I think Jorah and Dario Naharis are going on one hell of a journey. It won't be cool, though. I know we all want it to be cool because those seem like the coolest parts of stories. I feel like it's when like a couple of really cool heroes take off on a quest together to travel somewhere and do a thing. Like that's right for good storytelling. But don't worry, it won't be good at all. Like Dario and Jorah will just arrive somewhere and then they'll cut up like 8 minions, cut them to pieces, and when it was supposed to be 80 minions and like a wall of crossbows or something and fire and dragons. And then they'll go in and like they'll get there, and the Khaleesi will have convinced all those wild men to come fight with her, and they'll be like, "Come, Jorah, lead my wild man army," and that'll be that.
I'm starting to think that Gur Martin is incredibly important to this series because D&D, whoever they're like Dan or something, they do the show. Left to their own devices, they do really shitty stuff, like Jaime Lannister and Bronn's buddy movie thing over to Dorne and back. Jaime Lannister and Bronn going to Dorne and trying to rescue her could have been a really interesting storyline. Instead, it was absolute shit that we had to suffer through all season long. That didn't happen in the book. That
wasted time that could have been spent on Arya, or it could have been spent
minutes
on
of every week are precious.
Yes, absolutely. Here's my problem with Game of Thrones. Bigger than the twists, and some people feel like at this point they're just killing the people you love for the fun of it, rather than they feel like it used to be sort of that the good guy doesn't get away with bullshit anymore. Like good guy, bad guy, whatever. If it's a situation where you should die, you're gonna die. Like that's just how life goes, and it's supposed to be fair storytelling in a way. But it feels like lately they're just kind of tearing wings off a butterfly or something like that to fuck with you. I don't mind that, though. What I don't like is I feel like even though it's the most popular, biggest grossing TV show of all time, their special effects are still bad. And their battle scenes have still not come together. If you want to see a really good battle scene, I was saying this earlier, go watch Braveheart. It's on Netflix right now. You can see when the Scottish and the English meet up in the field of battle with long swords, axes, hammers, crossbows, and longbows, which is exactly what these battles would be like. It's blood and guts and just gore, and it goes on. These battles go on for like 15 or 20 minutes. D&D need to go get Mel Gibson on staff and let them, and maybe they'll learn how to do at least one battle well, because they haven't had a good battle in the entire series.
And I worry about the change. Like, if you look at the parts that weren't in the book, they're typically awful, like Bran and Jaime Lannister's trip to Dorne. Like when they diverge away from the Gur Martin material, then it just turns into garbage. So that's a concern. Hey, there's a riot in the chat asking for Fallout talk.
Oh.
So I mean, yeah, I played Fallout a couple of times. You walk around in the desert and there's some cactus and people,
and that's my favorite part. I love when you're walking around in the Mojave Desert and the moon's over your shoulder and you look down at your Pip-Boy and you get your fucking rifle out, start sniping some fire ants, and then the next thing you know, 3 hours have passed by and you're in a cave somewhere reading a sort of a mystery novel while you fight off mutated animals. I love it.
So Fallout 4, is it a prequel? Like looking at the trailer, it looked like it was a prequel.
No.
Okay.
It's all in the same universe. It's some aspects of it take place before the war started. It looks like, but it looks like it's going to be sort of a flashback thing. But the post-apocalyptic landscape as it exists is kind of in the same time period with all the games, I think.
But did the other games start literally from the bombs dropping like that?
No, they usually have like an exposition at the beginning that kind of explains. There's kind of like
I'm inferring a lot here, but I'm starting to wonder, like, maybe there won't be a bottle cap monetary system developed yet, right? Because these people are just emerging. No?
Well, see, they're always just emerging from the vaults. The fact that there's some material in here that takes place before the bombs drop in no way changes the time framing that our hero is coming out of his vault. So in all the games, it's for the first time. It's usually like the first person of his generation to actually come out from under the ground. They've been down under for a generation or two, so
Okay.
it's always kind of like that. But there's a lot of stuff they introduced. It looks like the weapon mods are going to be just ridiculous. One of the things I like that they introduced, there's tons and tons of items in the world, like everything from teddy bears to tin cans. And in the past, there's been very little reason to collect many of those items. There's just tons of components and parts. I can't think of any that right now. But now that you're going to be able to craft using all those parts, like toy cars do stuff, glue does stuff. Some copper wire is going to do stuff, and you can combine them all together to make things like in the example I saw, they were combining like a toy car, maybe a toaster, and some glue and some other things, and they were making a scope for a rifle. So that looks cool. The weapon crafting is going to be really cool. There's tons and tons of variations. It reminded me a lot of Borderlands. There were so many different kinds of variations, but you put mix and match components, make your own variation. The base building, I don't know exactly what they're calling it. It's sort of a crafting thing where you can build your own little house and shelter.
Yes, yeah.
That looked cool.
My Minecraft self was like, well, how does this base building work? How do you build up your fort? What kind of craftability exists in this thing? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be interested in that part of the game at all, because every time I play, I always have a house in Minecraft or an apartment or something, but that's just where I stash my stuff. All I want there is like necessities.
Yeah,
it's really just a storage locker for my shit.
You're all about getting out, not building.
Yeah, I don't really like that aspect. I like exploring. That's because because it is an open world environment. I'm always like wanting to go deeper out into the world and find something new I've never seen before. Like the storyline bores me pretty quickly. I really oftentimes veer off the storyline and don't really care about it after about the midway point. I end up just kind of just exploring caves and going in vaults, and each vault has its own little like mystery story you've got to piece together about what went wrong and what was going on in that vault. And it takes a while to clear a vault. You got to go level by level, and some of them are creepy, and there's mutated creatures and murder and death and mayhem, and there'll be wild people down there with chainsaws and shit. So I don't know. I love Fallout. Fallout 4 looks amazing. The graphics looked incredible. I'm excited about that. I may have to get a whole new gaming rig just to fully experience what that game's going to look like.
The graphics looked incredible on a PS4. Now, I'm not silly enough to think that what I see in a game trailer will actually happen, but they said like this was all real gameplay that we recorded off a PS4, and it was like, it's not a CGI trailer. But then again, like Witcher, which I haven't played but I'm told is great, that looked amazing, and they downgraded the whole thing. So they might do that for Fallout too. They always seem to.
We'll see. I hope not. Regardless, it's going to look a lot better than the previous games, because as much fun as Fallout 3 and New Vegas are, the graphics aren't that great. The voice acting is terrible, and I feel like there's just not enough voice actors being used. I guess they're doing a great job for the fact that there's only like a handful of them.
All
doing
they need
hundreds
is
of
Roy
voices.
Dotrice.
It's like that. They've got one guy doing like dozens of voices, and you pick it up after a while. You're like, wait a minute, weren't you the same guy at that store back there?
Aren't you the sheriff?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't be the sheriff and the mayor. And it's like, it's bullshit. I didn't like that. But it looks like they've spent some money on this. I like that it's based in Boston. I don't love that it's based in Boston. I think there were other things they could have done. I didn't want one that was based. I had a cool idea for this. I don't remember what it was. I said it on a past PKA, where I would want this thing to be. But I don't recall now. But anyway, I think that having it at Boston opens it up for a lot of cool things. MIT is in Boston, the Massachusetts Institute for Technology. So I bet there's going to be some crazy tech loot there.
Harvard's
maybe
in
the
Boston.
Brotherhood of Steel is set up there, utilizing that tech or something like that. Some cool storylines will definitely be had there.
Harvard's in Boston too. There's a lot of A lot of old school stuff in Boston.
Yeah.
B.
So I'm excited about the game. It looked great. It exceeded my expectations. The character crafting looked really cool. I saw that whole demo. I like that Fallout has color in it. That's been talked about a lot, that it's much more colorful this time around. I like that as well. The updated VAT system looked really nice. I don't give a fuck that you can have a dog with you and that he's supposed to be better. Can I
interrupt? So after I saw, I guess it was COD Ghosts, they interviewed me and asked me what I thought of it. And the interviewer led off with the question like, well, obviously the major innovation this year is the addition of a female character. And I'm like, wait, what? A female? I don't care at all what sex my character is. I want to know about the maps. I wanted to know about the kill streaks. I wanted to know about the gameplay, the movement. Is it still smooth? Like, there was a lot I wanted to know about Call of Duty, the new game types. Like, I cared about that. Girl? Boy? I could have been that
Robot.
fucking
Who cares?
Predator thing with the skinny dreadlock, with the whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't
all
matter.
That customization, they always like, hey, would you like your character to be dressed up like Mr. T? Like, not really, because then everybody's gonna be like, kill Mr. T. Like, fuck that shit. I just want to be average Joe, like white guy with a helmet on if I'm playing a first-person shooter. I don't want flames coming off my head. Any of that bullshit. And I'm not willing to pay extra for it. And I'll even pay extra if you leave me alone and make me a normal guy.
Yeah,
I hate that shit.
It's a different thing. But in Minecraft, I wear a cape, and it means people kill me the second they see. It's just kill on sight. That's Woody. Kill that guy.
I'm Kyle from South Park, I think.
Yeah.
We didn't spend too much time figuring out what it was going to be, but I think we nailed it perfectly. That was my Xbox avatar forever as well.
Cool.
So I always thought that was funny. So let's see. Last bit of Game of Thrones talk I will say. The mountain that rides was seeing him come back into play. While I think they could have done better.
Disappointing.
I still thought it was pretty cool just that we see that he's up and moving again. It's nice to do something. I wish they'd done more though.
So
just taking a holy vow of silence.
Let me make a short story long on this Game of Thrones thing. I took so Cersei's walk. She's supposed to get like progressively more and more like broken emotionally. And I took this music appreciation course back in college, way back. And I can't name the piece, but there is a song where the drummer plays louder and faster for 45 minutes. Right? So for 45 minutes, he's supposed to play louder and faster in a straight line, right? And these guys, of course, they're like Carnegie Hall or whatever. They're amazing at it. But if he gets louder then quieter again, or if he goes faster and realizes that the guy kind of picked it up too much and backs off, then he sucks. He has to go 45 minutes in a straight line. I was waiting to see Cersei do the same thing emotionally. In the book, they make a big deal out of the fact that like they shave her to sort of shame her. And in the book, they shave her pubes and armpits and arms and everything. But the idea is they're kind of dehumanizing her, and she's bald when she does that walk, I think, not just short-haired. And, you know, when they take her clothes off, someone else had done this punishment, and they're not in the book, but they just told it, you know, in the past. And that person, like, immediately, like, broke down and started whimpering as they took her robe off. But Cersei kept her chin up, her pride about her, shoulders back, and she was just going to walk. And in the book, just like in the show, she kind of broke, right? You know, at first it was just like a stumble, and then she was supposed to progressively get like worse and worse and worse, and until the very end when she's like on the ground, ready to give up, but she's just a hill away from the castle. And I didn't really feel like Cersei nailed it, or whatever, Leona Helmsley or something, I don't know her name, the actress. I felt like she came out and was okay. 10 seconds in, she's broken and just remained a same level of brokenness throughout the entire walk. Like,
well, maybe it's because her head's just CGI'd on her body, so she's not really even reacting to anything, probably.
Dude, what?
I don't even know what's going on there. Like, is she the one walking through the crowd, or is the naked chick the one walking through the crowd, and they're just putting her head on the naked chick from a room somewhere?
Is she too big a hotshot to get naked? Like, if I compare her body now to her body in
300?
When she was hitting it with Jaime Lannister in season 1. I
don't think she got naked.
No?
Ever.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think we've ever seen her naked.
Maybe you're right. I feel like there are a lot of people that got naked that suddenly, like, they all had it written out of their contract. Suddenly, they're all Daenerys. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But that definitely wasn't her naked. And I love the comments that are saying, like, talking about like how hairy her bush is, and it's like, well, that's not real. She's wearing a merkin.
A merkin. It's a
yeah.
hairpiece for your vagina. Kyle's like, don't censor.
I love that you censor yourself for your What was you gonna say, Woody?
Oh, it's a mystery. Nobody knows. Yeah, it's called a merkin, and I don't know if that actress is wearing one. She might have rocked a bush.
Totally,
but the lady that cut her hair in the book shaves her pussy. There you go.
Oh, well, that seems a little harsh now that you actually say it.
Right, that's why I censored it.
Yeah. Just censor yourself from now on. I didn't like that.
More from E3. The Microsoft came out with a new controller. Yeah.
Oh, poor Scuff, right?
Like, I don't know.
Like if all right. So first of all, I got nothing against Scuff. They make an excellent product, and they've sent me a lot of them, and I have a lot of them. I don't have one within arm's reach, but they're very good. However, if I'm them and I see this new Microsoft controller. If you haven't seen the video for this thing, there's like a 30, 45-second promo video for it. It does everything the Scuff does seemingly and more and better and sleeker and with a warranty. You know what I mean? And I bet it's not as expensive as the Scuff is because the Scuff is quite pricey. I bet this thing is like a $75 controller and it does everything. It has the buttons on the back. It has customizable directional pad, customizable joysticks, the trigger stops that don't involve that special Allen key that we've all lost now. It looked really cool. It looked like it could do anything and everything you wanted. And Ask a Capper doesn't have a reason to make videos anymore because finally he has full-on button remapping on the Xbox console. So you win, Ask a Capper.
I've got a couple of things. That's funny. I forgot about him. One, I think you may not have the latest and greatest Scuff controller because it's toolless now. Two, Scuff has been staying in front of Microsoft for, 4 or 5 years? I'll admit Microsoft just took a leap forward and presented some competition, but they've never beaten Scuff before. They're like the New England Patriots of controllers. They just seem to win every time. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Duncan was like, all right, but can it fly? And we get fucking hover controllers coming out in no time. Or who knows?
I don't know. This thing looks amazing. And what I also fear they may have done is they may have put some sort of DRM in there so that Scuff can't make a controller, or Scuff might have a hard time modifying this controller or something.
That's possible, but
I feel like Microsoft spent a lot of money to kind of take Scuff's,
that whole business away,
their whole thing away from them. Yeah,
we'll see.
So,
I don't know. I've been so impressed with all the work Scuff has done that I don't see them going down easily. I see them still being the one. And by the way, Scuff is willing to. It's hard to say out advertise, but they'll certainly get it in front of not decision makers, but like they'll get the controller in the hands of thought leaders and stay relevant. That's what I think.
They'll have to do something big because this thing looked really cool to me. Like I want one. Like I really do want one now because of just all the things it does. And I like that the joysticks themselves it seemed like Legos, like you could just pop and play and move things around. So we'll see. And the trigger stops look cool as well because I always want that.
Huh. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know, but it's interesting. You know who's going to win in this thing? The consumer. The consumer
absolutely
always does.
Good news for us.
That's pretty cool. I didn't see this. I just heard about it. The Xbox One is going to play Xbox 360 games?
Yes.
That's a big deal to me. Like
is that an update or is that a hardware thing?
I hope it's a software thing.
Right?
I hope.
In my head, like I felt like it was a little bit of a stupid question for me to ask, but on the other hand, I was like, is it? Because it's like, are they going to flip a switch and make the machine I have in my bedroom suddenly start playing those 360 games? Because if so, that's great. But if not, if there's like going to be an Xbox 1.0, the 1.01 or something, then that kind of sucks.
You'd think it'd be possible to write an emulator. The Xbox One, I'm pulling numbers out of these are PKA stats, but the Xbox One's going to be like 5 or 10 times more powerful than the Xbox 360 was. So, even the overhead of an emulator should be able to easily be. There's like a 20% overhead on an emulator. They should be able to do that. They just have to write the code, and the optical reader should read those disks. So, it seems like a thing that they could do. Does it have enough RAM? Yeah, tons of RAM. I want to say the Xbox One, did it have a gig of RAM? And the PS4 had dual 256s or something, and the new one has like 8 gigs of RAM. Like there's tons of extra space. They should be able to run a couple F360s in there.
Well,
but
good.
We'll see. Oh,
I'd like to
someone's
play
saying
Call of Duty 4.
It's an emulator app, is what they're saying in the chat, and something else. Oh, that it doesn't play from the disc. That I guess maybe you install it or you download
digital
it.
Download.
One
Yeah,
of those
okay.
Two.
Well, that's a shame that it doesn't play from the disc, quite frankly, because I have the discs.
But it says it reads the disc and downloads it from the cloud. If that's how it works, and that sounds great. Yeah, the disc is essentially your DRM.
Very smart. Okay, fair enough.
Oh,
that'll be cool then. I'm glad they gave me one.
Mail. You know how you have that PO box? I want a PO box. I want to get it set up. But even without a PO box, I got some stuff. Go ahead. All right, Kyle and I are gonna have fan gift wars. I think right now. We're going at it, and I'm not going down easy. Let me see. Kyle, where's the rest of my stuff? You can't hang.
We'll see about that.
I have seen the booty you pull in before, and this is going to be awesome. Go ahead. I'll match you piece for piece. You want to lead or you want me to lead? All right. Bam!
I think that's really funny, but I think I win.
Bam! This is me as Aquaman, right? I have a candle that smells like napalm.
Oh yeah, that's from us. Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps going. I have Keep Calm and Carry. That's from you too.
Yeah.
Along with a couple professional Russian things. He really sent me an order from this.
Stickers? Yeah, you got some stickers.
Dude.
Everybody does.
I have...
You got a whole bag of stuff. I got something even better.
Oh yeah? Does it beat this? Because I got a fucking butterfly knife.
Yeah, it does beat that. I'll be right back.
Really? He can beat this shit? I thought I had like the best fan gifts ever. I fucked it up. So when I first got this thing from the box, here's the thing. This is a butterfly knife, right? And to open it, you flip it back, flip it here, and then flip it forward. I don't know if I taught that very well. But it's just sort of 2 flips. And you can do that again and again. And hold on, I was just talking to everybody, Kyle. And I thought it was a standard that if you held the one with this thing on it, that you're safe. Because the way it works is I never let go of this. There are flippers and people who do this amazing. But I'm not one of them. I just hold on to this. And that means that every time it hits my hand, the dull part of the blade is hitting it. And I'm fine. But I took it out of the box, and I thought you held this side. Now, either I'm wrong or it's not standardized, because I immediately gave myself this cut on my knuckle because I held the wrong side of it. But go ahead, Kyle. What do you have?
I got a letter from a guy. He said he was a big fan. Mm-hmm. He said that his fiance left him while he was in boot camp or he was overseas, one or the other. And so he sent me his engagement ring.
Holy shit! Oh my God! I have a letter from a guy too.
Get this thing to focus better.
Oh, this is about the knife. He gives me a list of things. Wow, Kyle! I can't believe you got an engagement ring.
Yeah.
About the butterfly knife, he says, a while ago you explained the concept of headset. Something about how a cheap headset does 80% of the jobs. And an Astro A40, like being a better headset, is 20% better, but like far more expensive. He goes, that's the deal for this too. This is a clone of the Benchmade Balisong, like their butterfly knife. And he says it's 80% is good, and then the expensive one would be far more. But I have more stuff. I'm almost out. Let me just double check that was the last thing in here. The last thing I have is a Spyderco everyday carry knife. And
oh, wow.
I thought this thing was pretty cool too. So
I had one of those. I lost it.
Did you? Yeah, I had.
Is it digital camo?
It is.
I had mine. I think mine was gray, but yeah, I had the same thing.
Yeah, I'm really psyched about this. I've to say I got into knives. Like, there are people who are into knives who would say, Woody, what you are is not into knives. But I've been way more into knives than I've ever been before. I have an everyday carry knife on me now, and he sent me 2 options for that, and my knife collection's kind of growing. And I guess as a fan of the show, he knew exactly what I would like, so I thought it was super cool. So
yeah,
thank you so much out there. I don't know if you wanted to give this.
That's an expensive knife.
It is, dude. This setup that he gave me, like like he shipped all this to me, and there's a couple framed pictures. There's the candle. There's the cup. There's 2 knives and some stickers.
Oh, that's all from one guy.
Yeah. Like,
hey, what are you doing, dude? We send me like sending Woody all this great stuff.
So anyway, thank you so much.
Like,
I don't know if you want to be outed in terms of who you are, but I know who you are, and I appreciate you out there. So thanks so much.
I mean, this ring looks really nice and everything, but I just don't know if I can wear it outside the house.
It seems like you would hawk it, but that also seems like something you're not supposed to do. The whole thing is confusing.
Well, I don't think it's very expensive, so no worries there.
All right.
That's pretty funny, though. Yeah, you should get yourself a P.O. box.
Yes.
It's always fun.
It was funny when I matched your picture of you.
This enormous dick that I got. Yeah, dude, that's hilarious. Black and white too. Like that was his choice to make it black and white. Yeah, that was his choice to make it black and white. That's funny.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. We had some other topics lined up: Fallout, Game of Thrones, the new controller. I don't know if I don't have a lot to say about it, but there's a new Minecraft thing, which I think is pretty exciting. So, did you see the video at all? It's 2 minutes long. All right. Well, there's something called, I think, a Halo lens. It could possibly be called a HoloLens. So forgive me if I messed it. Messing up names is my thing.
I think it might be HoloLens.
You think it's a HoloLens? All right, because I feel like I read it more than I heard it, so I messed it.
I definitely read it more than I heard it.
Yeah, and so they have like this holographic like Surface table, and they made a Minecraft client that uses it, and it's 3-dimensional, and it like listens to your voice, and you can say like Minecraft lightning strike, and where you're looking at on the map a lightning strike goes in, which I totally want. I want like I wish I had Factions Fire sitting here next to me, and I could just like smite people being dicks all the time.
Oh, what if you were represented in game by an enormous U? Like here comes Woody. Boom.
Just shoot lightning bolts out of my eyes and blast people and stuff. But then he could like raise the map and see underground and stuff. And
why does it do that? See, it's just in and out. Like
for people
it has
that
something
don't
to do
know,
with Skyping with you.
When Kyle talks to me, and seemingly only when he talks to me, his camera has a mind of its own. It works fine all other times, but when he's in a Skype call with me, he zooms in, he unzooms.
I put the Ushanka on her.
It's a good look. Oh, I have a thing. I got a new dog.
Oh, that's it. Well, let's see this thing.
Yes. All right. I'll tell Jackie to make the dog make an appearance. Hold on.
Okay.
Wait. I'll holler so that I know she heard me. Oh, thank you. My daughter overheard me. She said she would make it happen.
Okay. So is this the I guess we could talk about it before it gets here. It's not too much of a surprise. It's the Black Great Dane.
Yes. So this thing. I'll warn you before you see it. It had its ears cropped, so they're like taped together right now.
Yeah,
And,
they were fine when Woody found it, and Woody was like, "I want a legit Great Dane," and they were like, "No, we don't do that here. You have to take it somewhere else to get its ears cropped." And Woody looked up online how to do it, and he used like sheep shears to
my
actually
everyday
do
carry
it.
knife. Yeah.
He did, yeah, that's what he did it himself with his Leatherman mini tool. That those little scissors that he said would be good for cutting a thread off your shirt, also good for cropping puppy ears.
So the truth is I guess we don't believe in it, like it's Santa Claus or something. And but the dog already had his ears cropped. If you see him, he's 15 weeks old. And my daughter almost like put her foot down, like, no, I want nothing to do with the ear cropping industry. But we thought that it was like racist or earist or something. We're like, we really like everything about this dog. We wouldn't have chosen to have the ears cropped, but it is what it is. So he's got to wear tape on his ears for another week or two, and then
until the wounds heal.
They'll just stand up all the time. I'm afraid they're like sensitive or something. Like I don't want to bang them. You know,
of course, right? Like if we cropped your ears, like I think they'd be sensitive for quite some time.
I guess I don't know.
Before you want anybody like rubbing them and like roughing them up or anything.
You should see this dog. He's magnificent. I don't mean to overhype him, but like he's just a beast.
You just said he was magnificent.
Yeah, right. He is.
I don't mean to overhype the puppy before it gets here, but think magnificent. Just you want that going in, okay?
Dude, the dog, he's got bigger feet than my full-grown Dane. He's all black. Like not that this matters to me. Like I like my mutt too, but if you see him, you'll just be like, oh, that's what these dog like snobs are talking about. This thing, like, I think it's cute when the dogs have what they call socks, like white feet, and they're otherwise black. Hello.
Oh shit, that thing's huge.
he's come here.
It's 3 days old. 3 days.
Come here, Andrew. Here's a little tiny
Look at this
guy.
poor thing's ears.
I know, right? So here, let me
Oh, it's
push
so
both
sad.
of these down a little bit.
Oh, Woody.
The cameras are
Why, Woody? My ears. Oh.
Ender.
Uncle Kyle's
Now-
scaring him.
Now when I hear the sound of scissors clink, I piss myself.
Get here.
He's making fun of the cropped ears. Ender. I don't want to like traumatize the poor guy. He's very sweet. Hello, Ender. Yes.
He just woke up.
He just woke up.
Oh. So how old is this dog?
15 weeks, so almost 4 months.
That's outrageous. That dog is bigger than a lot of adult dogs.
He's 55 pounds, and he should gain another 100 or 120. And
Cultivating mass.
yeah, he's cultivating mass right now. I gotta try and pick him up, but I'm gonna
Oh
take
my
my
God,
headset
those
off.
feet! Like those feet almost look too big. Jesus Christ, what is he? But look at that poor dog's fucking ears, guys. Look at that poor dog's fucking ears. Looks like he looks like a World War I veteran who just got home and they bandaged him up all old timey fashioned. Is that duct tape? Like what the? It's so sad. Oh, the poor thing. It looks like there's like a splint in there.
Bite.
Oh yeah, now he needs to be hanging out with that picture. He needs to be spending a lot of time.
Ender, sick him. Bite the picture.
Oh, not that. Woody's last dog really had
We need
had
to
it out
train our
for.
new dog to hate Kyle too.
That dog is so big for. Oh my God. Ah, he's really good looking dog though. Look at his head. Look at his paws. Look like they could.
Are you a good boy?
It looks like he's holding on to Woody's hand, like in the movies whenever you see a person morph into a werewolf, there's that middle phase between person and werewolf. That's where this dog exists. Look at those hands, as big as a fucking mouse. I like that mouse for scale. I wish we had a banana.
Look into the camera.
Hey.
Look into the camera. The cameras are here. Okay. You get what you get. All right. Thank you, honey.
I killed a toddler once.
So that's our new dog. I don't know. Yeah, he's very, very sweet. It was one of the things that we were so concerned about. It seems like.
I don't know if he can go downstairs.
Do you want me to carry him?
Oh, please carry me, Woody. My
I'll be
paws
right
are
back. I won't be
slippery.
long.
Your magnificent hardwood floors are too slippery for my puppy paws. Oh, now this is the laugh. Carry me, human. That dog is going to be so fucking big. I'd hate to be the intruder that goes over there. These things, if you've never seen a dog that weighs 150 pounds, it's weird because there's somewhere between pony and dog in a realm that I wasn't comfortable with and I'd never experienced before. I'd seen like Rottweilers and stuff, which are like large, scary dogs, but those Great Danes are extra, extra large.
I'm back.
Scary.
Yeah, people are like, what did he do to his ears? Are they not here? I guess they just got here. I don't know. But his
The
ears
leather
were-
man.
Kyle says I did it. I didn't do it. We looked all over. This dog was actually from Georgia. And I think it was. Not the one,
Don't
though.
blame that on us.
No, it might have been Florida. I don't know where the dog came from. I know Jackie met halfway in South Carolina. So that's a hint. And but the dog is 15 weeks old. So the breeder cropped his ears like to make him stand up like that, and we don't like it. Actually, we wouldn't have chosen it, but we're not earists, so we took whatever dog we got.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I found a doggy plastic surgeon. It works out of Palm Beach. Very, very pricey, but I know that you are going to want what Ender would want. So we'll start moving forward on that. There's going to be some grafts. They're going to have to bring in some special doggy.
You want to put the ears back to the way they were?
Yes. We found a donor dog. A lesser breed, if you will. The ears should match fine, but we're going to, get him some ear implants. Shape that back out for a more natural look.
To hold the ears up, there's like shotgun shells in each ear. Are you
Like
familiar with
splints.
this?
Well,
Yeah.
I could see them, and I was like, they're like a splint on the inside, and the ear is sort of wrapped around it to form it. And as it heals from its massacred state. He was magnificent though. His hands, like they looked like my fucking hands. They were his like each claw or finger, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Like his paws look like a werewolf, like when they're mid transformation or something.
He really, you have to get the to see him in person. It's amazing, and he's so sweet and gentle. So, just to touch his fur, it's like. The dog's been bred. Both his mom and dad were champion show dogs. Like literally both of them. Not just like, oh, there's a champion in the line. No, champion bred with champion to make that dog. He was the biggest one in the litter, and he's just a freaking magnificent beast. Albeit with cropped ears. Colin named him. So I named Buddy, if you say that. He came with a name, and we decided to keep it. Jackie named Jack after her father. Hope named Harley. Her coat is called Harlequin. That's what that cow print thing is called. So she named it Harley Quinn because she was going through a Batman phase. And Colin named Enderman. So we call him Ender.
Well, that's a good name for a magnificent dog. It's a shame that you had him mutilated that way.
I didn't have him mutilated.
I know that's what Jackie wanted, so.
Like I said, there was a family discussion. Hope was not into it. And, but, we were like, we really like to think. And I don't like puppies. I like puppies and everything, but I'd rather have dogs. I'm more of a dog guy than a puppy guy.
You're halfway there with that guy. You skipped all the shitting on the floor.
That's literally crate trained and house trained. And,
and especially with you just moved into this brand new fucking house that it'd be a shame to have the dog peeing on those floors and making a mess somewhere that you'd then have to.
Something's going to happen, but this will be better than a normal puppy situation.
Of course, totally. Totally. You're not starting from scratch.
He's teething, right? He's going to be teething. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. So we need to be
maybe
really
some of those
aware
doorknobs might start appearing attractive. That's what have you ever seen a big dog chew a doorknob?
Mm-mm.
They will chew a brass doorknob until it's just they punch holes in it with their teeth. I've seen dogs chew doorknobs to nothing.
No, our Danes have never done that. They haven't actually chewed anything too bad as I think about it. But
Dak is a monster. Dak has Kevlar toys now.
Yeah, Kitty told me that Kong toys don't hold up. The Kong
No.
toys just get ripped apart. And
No,
such.
they're so tough and so stiff when you hold them. Like I can barely flex them at all. It'll be like a donut, but it'll be like you can't bend it or
Does
flex
he
it.
have
It's
titanium teeth or regular teeth?
regular teeth.
Okay, just checking.
I-
You don't know,
They do
Dex.
that.
Yeah, I
They
bet.
do that when dogs lose that. Like I know military dogs, maybe police dogs too. But when they lose a tooth doing something, they'll replace it with a titanium
I've
tooth. But
heard.
yeah,
I don't know if it's true, but I've heard they do that preemptively on some of those service dogs.
I read specifically that wasn't true on Reddit once. I think that's kind of a myth that
Okay.
they it's only for replacements. But who knows? But yeah, he's got regular old teeth, but they seem to chew through just about anything. So we got the Body Armor Company to make him some Kevlar toys, and I don't know if he's chewed through them or not yet. I haven't gotten an update on that, but
People who watched
Yeah.
my videos in the very beginning might remember Dakota, my yellow lab. He lost teeth, and we had to they built it back up with silver filling or something, and he had a couple root canals. He was a really expensive dog.
yeah, root canals. Jesus, why don't they just pull the teeth?
Oh, because he's a lab, and labs are really mouthy, and their 4 teeth. It's all the way the vet tried to as she was laying it out for us. She's like, it's his hand. This, he's a dog. He has one hand. It's his mouth, and those 4 teeth are his fingers. The canines on top and the associated. So he lost. It'd be like losing a finger, or you could root canal and get it repaired and everything. And we're like, I was really fond of him. You know what? He used to help me get better at hockey. Like I'd have a ball, and I'd just sit there and do all this stick work, and he'd try to take the ball off my stick, and I'd pass it through his legs and stuff. And he'd sit there and practice hockey with me all the time. And it's like, well, I can't let my hockey buddy not have a finger. So so we had his tooth all fixed and everything. So
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's always been the same way. He spends a lot of money on his dog's upkeep. Ridiculous medications. That dogs have the same complications humans have, and I think you always hear about people putting their dogs down, and when you really think about it, we put dogs down for things that if your grandpa had, we'd probably do something about it. You know what I mean? If that was grandpa instead of Spike, we might work on that diabetes. But but my dad, his dog gets diabetes, and he's like, well, all right, guess insulin shots for you or whatever. He just goes the extra mile. They recently lost a Jack Russell that was 14 or 15 years old. They'd had that dog forever. And at the time it died, it was on multiple pills, a nebulizer machine, one of those breathing.
yeah. I've never seen one for dogs, but carry on.
No, they make a puppy. They make a mask that specifically fits dog snouts. So this dog is wearing. It's sitting on the couch with my mom watching TV, wearing the mask, and the machine is very loud. It's and the dog's just fucking doing its breathing treatment. It gets done, and it's over there. The dog coughs like a person. It's got this awful cough.
Dude, I have a nebulizer story. I've told it before, so I'm just going to run through it. But my best friend in high school had cystic fibrosis. And one of the symptoms, cystic fibrosis, one of the things it does is it creates mucus in your body, way more than you'd want. So, it's in your mouth, but that's not a big issue because you can spit or whatever. It was in his lungs. It was in his testicles. It's just his whole body's kind of mucusy, whatever. So it got harder and harder to breathe. And I did a video about it once, but he wrote me this letter that pretty much was it was half a goodbye letter, and he was dying. That was a thing. And he needed a double lung transplant to save his life. And he was the perfect patient. He worked out super hard. He played tennis to keep in shape, which was really important. If he falls out of shape, he can't get back. It's just dreadful. He needs to save his life by exercising. But he could only exist with oxygen on. So he literally played competitive tennis in a league in New York City with a backpack on with an oxygen tank in it. And he would just play, with the O2 flowing.
Seems like cheating to me. I'd like to play competitive sports with an oxygen tank on my back too, right?
Next paintball trip, I'm bringing the O2 with me.
That's my newest accessory, the O2 tank.
Right.
It's like powering on the gun, beep, 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 beep. Power on the camera, beep. Get the scorpion tail engaged. All right. Fuck yeah. It's fucking, the straps going over my ears, mask down, like, this is next level. This is next level.
Why's your paintball gun need 2 tanks? This one's for me. Yeah. And
I'm like Bane out there, straight 02.
Perfect. So
You're in trouble, children. I have come to play.
we thought he was gonna make it. And they they brought him all in for the double lung transplant and everything, but it was a false alarm. And that happened a second time too. And it was real, it felt almost tragic. And then he actually got his double lung transplant. And now he routinely takes his kids out surfing. He has cystic fibrosis still, right? It impacts his fertility, it impacts his digestion, etc. But his lungs don't. They don't get it. For the rest of his life, he will have CF, cystic fibrosis free lungs. They're
cool.
It's not a problem anymore.
Well, I would become some sort of an organ fiend. I think I'd be looking for some new balls and some new intestines. I'd be whatever it took, go to some South.
They're doing a head transplant. Yeah, there's an Italian doctor right now doing a head transplant. It's a thing.
So, so the person the body is the dead thing, and there's a live person, and they're going to take a live person's head and put it on a body that's freshly dead, right?
Yes.
Okay, because that's the only thing that seems feasible if I think about it.
At first, I thought they were going to
add a head.
Yeah, and I'm won't it be a different
Mike.
person? Because okay. Now I was
commuting so much cheaper now.
Listen, I was born in the 70s, and the 70s weren't that far removed from a time that anytime somebody died, they thought it was a heart attack. Why'd this guy die? Got into a car crash. Oh yeah. Car crash caused the heart attack. Heart attack was the only kind of death they knew shortly before there was me. And people also thought, scientists and doctors thought your soul was in your heart. So as they were first doing heart transplants, which is 20 years before me, but you can imagine this is the 90s to you, that they thought that if they put a new heart in someone or an artificial heart in someone, that person might not have a soul. And there were medical, oh, what does happen when you switch a heart? And I feel like I'm living that now. If I literally put your head on a new body, is all the shit that makes you just in your brain? Are we sure?
100%. Yeah, totally. We're all up here.
We're all up here. Just
like in Futurama when they got him in the little, the liquid, the little jugs or whatever, all the heads. Totally, that's how it works. Yeah, you could just be a head. You ever see that old Russian video where they got the German Shepherd's head cut off and it's still alive and they're just feeding it with tubes and stuff and the head's just what the fuck is happening?
So I think we can we can by and large agree that we are just a whole bunch of chemical reactions, right? Whatever's going on in your head, your thought process, etc., is some sort of chemical and electrical reaction, synapse firing, etc. Who's to say that if I give you an 85% new you, that doesn't have a serious impact on the chemistry of your brain? No. You don't think
it might
so?
have it, I mean, I'm sure I'll be sure it could change some basic stuff, some dopamine levels maybe or something. Maybe this new body's cholesterol level is higher and that makes me depressed or something. Something minor, but I'm not going to be a new me.
Or okay, I'll throw one out there. Maybe the new body's testosterone production is much higher or much lower. And now all of a sudden you're a much more or less aggressive or moody version of yourself. I don't know.
But the brain regulates that. Your balls don't just say, more testosterone. Your brain says, more testosterone, and then the balls do it. So that's not going to happen. I don't think, but I've never sewn a head on another body before. So they're doing the operation right now, you say? Or...
So the this is a different article than the one, same guy in the thing, but he's hoping to perform the surgery in December of 2017, and it'll probably take place in either America or China. I read it was just a headline. I kind of skipped the article, but the headline was that he's actively working with American surgery centers, hospitals, etc., to let him perform the surgery there. The doctor is Italian. And he appears to not be a kook. My first like head transplant, this guy's a kook, right? Like, he's off the rocker, off his rocker, and this isn't a real thing. But it appears that this guy is actually a world-leading surgeon. Like, like maybe the guy that should
I believe
do the
it.
first transplant.
I believe it's possible, and I'm sure they'll pull it off. But I just feel like, so here's the thing: like your quality of life going into that could be so horrible. You don't know what you're gonna feel. You don't know what your existence is gonna be like. Now, I don't think you're going to be a new you. There's if they put my head on your body minus your head, there's no Woody left for me to like get a sense of. That I do know. Like, you're not gonna continue to haunt that body. I will have control over your massive lung capacity, your award-winning dancing legs, right down to the super powerful calves. Every bit of it. I'll be able to swim like Aquaman. I think I'll be able to control dolphins, but probably not. Now that I think about it, because I think that's just a Woody thing.
Right? Yeah.
But like there'd be no you left. Like. Some of your body chemistry might affect my brain chemistry, but I think that would all get circulated out after a while. I think the main problem would be like getting the connection made at the base of the spine from getting the connections made so that my brain can do things.
I feel like there's tons of paraplegics and quadriplegics whose spine we can't repair, and suddenly he's going to be like, yeah, well, dude, fuck it. No. I'll just reconnect everything. I'm like, they can't do that in Star Trek.
I feel like maybe if like you have the body, if the body has died of natural causes, and seemingly, I guess the guy whose head they're going to take off, he's like dying of something related to his body, like maybe he has cystic fibrosis, maybe it's something like that, whatever. But he needs a new body, so I would imagine that they, they're not going to guillotine his fucking head off. They're going to very carefully surgically remove his head and leave the wiring intact, I suppose. So you got some frayed ends on either side to connect together.
The head donor has spinal muscular atrophy, which, that's not something I'm familiar with, but I do know all three of those words.
Exactly. I know what that means. He's all fucked up.
It sounds
he needs
like
a new body.
It sounds like his body is slowly atrophying because of some sort of spinal issue. And I have so in my left forearm I have damaged nerve here, and that means that I can't use these fingers very well, and they atrophy and etc. And I'm just like, that's what it is. Because of this nerve isn't able to send his signals to the muscles, he has spinal muscular atrophy. That's got to be what that means.
Perhaps. In any case, it sounds like he has something real fucking bad, and he needs a new body. Yeah, that sounds awful. So
yeah,
it would be such a huge fear going into something like that, though. I feel like if I'm going in for a heart transplant, I'm like, okay. There are statistics on heart transplants. Like maybe 1 in 6 people die. I don't know what they are. I'm making that up. But I'm just saying, going into it, you could look that up and you would know. Your doctors could tell you, we got a good feeling about this. You're strong, blah, blah, blah. The left ventricle looks good. They could be like, you got a 90% thing going into this. But with this, they're like, well, Jimmy, as long as we don't damage any of the nerves too bad while we're removing your fucking head, I think we'll be okay. Well, not okay, but we'll get you attached. After that, it's a real crapshoot because none of us have ever done any of this before.
What if it was this? What if it was, hey, you know what? We're in kind of a tight spot here. We have a good donor, but it's a chick.
Oh, yeah, totally. I prefer a chick, right?
Yeah?
Yeah, because I think you're going to be so fucked up going forward that, like, you're going to want some tits or you're not going to get anywhere in life. Like, if you're a head transplant, like you're gonna be discriminated against everywhere. I feel like. You know what I did see? This is kind of the opposite direction. I saw those twins that just have the one body and the two heads. I saw a bunch of pictures of them on the beach the other day, like bikini pictures. That's always shocking every time I see it.
I have one more topic before we wrap the PKN. Did you see that fucking chick who works for the NAACP? Who's white but pretended to be black, and now she says she's trans black or transracial. Transracial? Is that what she is?
This crazy motherfucker had a black guy pretend to be her daddy. There's I saw a screenshot of her with this black man, and they're on camera like smiling. Like I saw the meme, "Orange is the new black," because she's just really tan and orange, and she's got her hair permed and frizzed out. to make herself look more black.
Her parents said that she always kind of identified as black, and growing up she was like more just in sync with black culture than white culture. But she's white. I saw both her parents. They make white kids. Like, it's not a close call. It's not one of those things where like one of the grandparents is black, so she's like 3/4 white. But if she wants to identify, no. She's
What's funny
white.
is even now when she's like admitting this whole thing that she actually is white, but she's still using sort of a black accent. And I saw another meme making fun of her. Have you seen Tropic Thunder? Do you remember when Robert Downey Jr. played the black guy? And
I don't think I've seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay, so here's a tidbit. I bet this will interest you. So Tropic Thunder is basically a bunch of actors are trying to make a movie, but the movie's going poorly. It's a Vietnam movie, and so to toughen them up and to get some good footage, the director throws them out into actual Vietnam to like get a taste of the jungle. But it's supposed to be like jungle with training wheels. Mm-hmm. He steps on a landmine and dies, and they think that they're acting in a movie and that the landmine was fake. Ben Stiller's got the head. He's like, He's like, I know fake blood when I see it. And he's got the head stuck on his AR-15, and he's like waving it in the air. Meanwhile, actual like heroin drug dealers, like jungle militia, are seeing this, and they're like speaking in Vietnamese. Like they're like, they have no fear of death. Like, they're terrified of the actors. And so, long story short, the character that Robert Downey Jr. is playing is a black guy, and he's gone under this controversial pigmentation surgery, so he's actually black. He refuses to break character, even though he realizes they're in real shit, not acting anymore. He's like, I don't break character until the DVD commentary. So everybody's comparing her, like now that she's admitted, but she's still going on with the accent. Like, she's not going to break fucking character.
Oh, there has to be trans something that can benefit me.
Transracial. Yeah.
She's transracial. I'm trying to leverage this into something that could help me or you or us.
Financial. I am a super wealthy man trapped in this body.
Right? Am I trans genius? I don't know. I'm something. I've got to figure out something. I need to be trans something to.
She's hilarious though. She's such a fun. She's so fun to make fun of, and I love it. Black people Twitter is hilarious. They're like,
oh my gosh,
lots of funny posts on there. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. She's a perfect target to make fun of because she's so ridiculous, and she's done such a shitty thing, because clearly that's a position that she's taken from an actual minority.
This is the greatest. She pretended to be black to get a job from a black guy.
It's so all white people just think she's a mockery and just a hilarious like punchline, and black people are genuinely offended that this fucking white person has come in and taken somebody's job, like pretending to be black. She's talking about the struggle and all this shit, and they're just like, motherfucker.
Please tell me that the day she went to get a loan, she switched back to white. Just went back and forth as whatever fit her. Like, I get this job as a black woman, I get a loan as a white woman. Her mug shots, whatever. Yeah. I'd love it if she played both sides of that coin all the time.
That's great. You should watch Tropic Thunder, though. Check that out. That's really good. It's Ben Stiller, Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. was nominated for an Oscar that year for his performance as this black guy in a comedy.
Really?
He lost to Heath Ledger for the Joker.
Huh.
He couldn't really go any other way, I guess, that year after he died and everything.
All right. So that's what Painkiller nearly is like. You can go to patreon.com/PKA. Here, I'll spam a few links in there. If this interests you and you want to get the show every week, then that's where you get it. Go check out the donor levels and whatever. I'm told that all the people who...
you also get PKA a day or two early.
Yeah, you get PKA. The things are there. But check that out for sure. People who sign up for Patreon, I'm told, are taller and sexier. So that's a thing. I hope you guys liked PKN. We just kind of on a lark decided to do it live this time. And that's that. So bye, everybody.
Later.